across America. There's probably no singly more important voting rights lawsuit being pending right now than the one in North Carolina. The creator of Moral Mondays. Join me in welcoming Reverend William Barber.
Step back. Together.
One step back. Forward together, not one step back. Forward together, not one step back. Forward together, not one step back.
Thank you.
Not one step back.
I first of all want to thank God for our being here, our chairwoman, Rosalind Brock, our visionary, and our President Cornell Brooks, and all of the members of the board of directors. But I want to ask also, because I love all of our politicians, but I remember what Franklin Delano Roosevelt said to his friends. He called them into the office and said, I want to do, they said, we want something, we want labor rights, we want other things. He said, well, go out and make me do it. And I realized that DC is a funny place. You know, it gets real tricky, am I right? You know, folk can talk and all, but somebody's got to make them do it. And that's why the NAACP has no permanent friends and no permanent enemies, only permanent interests. And the group that we really have to recognize are the troops. So Derek Johnson is here as a state president, a volunteer state president. Where's Mississippi? Is Francis here? The states we walked through, Johnson. Is Lonnie Randolph, I'm calling their name, the president of Virginia, the Adora in Florida, Alabama, Brother Simonton. Some of them may already be over the hill, but it is important that we understand that this is not a fair fight, this is a street fight. We are in the middle of the possibility of a third Reconstruction. And the ancestors, descendants of the deconstructors that tore up the first Reconstruction of the 1800s and the second one of the 1960s are well at work today in this nation. I also want two young people, Mr. President, if you don't mind, from Rhode Island, because of diversity. If they put a picture on this, these young people step right there beside President Brooks. I want you to see this fight. Look at this young. And you understand that it's a black fight. It's white. It's all of us. And then Rosanelle Eaton and Ruth, one 90 years old and another 80. I couldn't walk. I have a disability. And Miss Ruth, come on, who's 85 years old, walk. And Miss Rosanelle Eaton. Now you know, you look at that age, they came up through something, Rosalind. They came up through segregation and all those things. And I just want, because we need to see the face of the movement. And it's a ground, this is just the beginning. Please do not see today as an end. And we cannot leave it up. Hillary Shelton can't do a thing without leverage. Can't do a thing without leverage. And so we need to be reminded that on the 25th of June, when the Supreme Court gutted the Voting Rights Act, they unleashed an open season on voting rights. And the Congress, let's put it in context, Strom Thurmond did a 24-hour filibuster. This Congress has done a 27-month filibuster, a 2-year filibuster, Larry, and refused to bring up Section 4 for renewal. And this regressive and extreme attack on voting rights has unleashed it all over the South, all over the nation. In North Carolina, we have the worst, but it's not about North Carolina. Derek and I talk all the time. They're testing it in North Carolina to see if they can spread it around the rest of the nation. And we need to call it what it is. We have come here today, our president has brought us here because what is happening in our nation today is a crime against democracy. And today, as you walk into that legislature, we are going into the scene of the crime. You might not see any yellow tape around, but I'm here to tell you, those buildings over there are the scene of the crime. And what is the crime? Systemic racism, attacks on the poor, and attacks on all of us as Americans. And make sure that we understand, an attack on voting rights is an attack on public education. An attack on voting rights is an attack on those who want political police reform. An attack on voting rights is an attack on labor. An attack on voting rights is an attack on health care. An attack on voting rights is an attack against those who want to raise the minimum wage to a living wage. Because when you allow extremists, Republicans or Democrats, to steal elections, and I have to say Republican, Democrat, because in North Carolina we had some Democrats vote for our extremist bill. So when you allow extremists to steal election, it's a crime against democracy. It's constitutionally inconsistent, it's morally indefensible, and it's economically insane. Now let me do what Representative Jackson did and ask us all to be quiet just a moment and listen to this. I want you to hear something because you'll hear it in the wind. Madam Chair, you'll hear it. Today, Hillary, 52 years ago today, the nation was being rocked by the death of 4 girls. Today. 16. It happened yesterday, but today the nation was being rocked by the blood of 4 girls blown up in a Birmingham church. 50 years ago, 50 years and 19 days ago, a white woman was shot to death after the march ended in Montgomery. Think about that now. She wasn't shot before the march, during the march, but after the march. After the march. So the reality is, and 50 years ago, we had the signing of the Voting Rights Act, and the media ought to say this, I believe, and ask these candidates, how is it that 52 years after the death of those girls, we have less voting rights? Think about that for a minute. Less voting rights today than we had 50 years ago. Now, Henry Thoreau went to jail for civil disobedience. Ralph Waldo Emerson came by and said, Henry, what is a nice man like you doing in jail? And Henry said, considering the injustices of slavery, what are you doing not in jail? And then somebody asked Henry Thoreau, will you repent for being so disruptive? And Henry Thoreau said, the only thing I will repent of is for not asking myself the question earlier, what demon possessed me to be so nice in the face of so much injustice? So, Mr. President, from down south and in the street and all the presidents there, we make you this promise. We'll lobby today and we'll talk today. But when it's time to lay down in the halls of Congress, why y'all get scared? When it's time to lay down and go to jail and engage in civil disobedience because there's a crime that's happening in the halls of Congress. Somebody needs to investigate it. Somebody needs to find them guilty, and somebody needs to bring redemption to America and our politics right now, today, and not tomorrow.